We thank the Lord for giving you the eagerness to hear or learn the Bible lessons daily. These programs are sent every day to help those who do not get the time to read the Bible systematically, as well as those who have already read the Bible several times yet desire to get reminded about the teachings of the Bible in a clear and deep way in English as well as in Tamil. These programs are being sent in both audio and script formats every day to help us grow in the knowledge of God. Kindly continue to listen, read, and be benefited by these lessons daily. God bless you all.
Learn the Bible series, program number 39, Bible Depths Notes, part 3, portion 1, pages 1, 2 and 3, the book of Ezra. About 130 years before Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, marched on Jerusalem to take the Judah people as prisoners to Babylon for the first time itself, Isaiah had announced a prophecy. What was that? Isaiah 44:28 and 45:1-6. Isaiah said that when one person by name Cyrus became the king of Babylon, he would do a great favor to the Jewish people. Accordingly, when that person Cyrus became the king of Babylon, he proclaimed that whoever desired to rebuild the temple of God in Jerusalem, which had been demolished by King Nebuchadnezzar, could proceed to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. Ezra 1:2-4. He also handed over all the golden articles that Nebuchadnezzar had plundered from the Jerusalem temple to those who were leaving for Jerusalem and asked them to keep them all once again in their proper places in the Jerusalem temple. Ezra 1:7. So, two persons by name Joshua and Zerubbabel led a group of nearly 50,000 Jews and left for Jerusalem. All the activities of these two leaders in Jerusalem are narrated in the 3rd to the 6th chapters of this book. 2 years after reaching Jerusalem, the two leaders relaid the foundation of the temple, and there was an all-round joy among all the Jewish people who had returned from Babylon. But when Joshua and Zerubbabel started the reconstruction work of the temple on that foundation, what happened? Ezra 4:1 and 2, the Gentiles living in Jerusalem said they would also join with the Jews in the reconstruction of the temple. But Zerubbabel and Joshua declined that offer. Why? Ezra 4:3. If they had accepted the monetary assistance or physical help from those Gentiles, they would be compelled to yield to them if those Gentiles asked them to keep their idols also inside the temple on the completion of the reconstruction work. So they wanted to avoid that eventuality and hence only refused the help extended by them. But because their offer was rejected, what did those Gentiles do? Ezra 4:4 and 5. They wrote a letter complaining against the Jews to the Babylonian king, then in power, Artaxerxes. King Cyrus had passed away by then. The new king ordered to halt the construction work immediately, and so it was stopped for the next 16 years. Only after another king by name Darius II came to power in Babylon, this was reviewed, and the king ordered Joshua and Zerubbabel to to complete the reconstruction work quickly. Ezra 6:6-9. Accordingly, the two leaders completed the reconstruction work of the temple 6 years after King Darius II came to power. This is the first part of this book. In the second part of this book, we read about the ministry of Ezra, which is narrated in chapters 7 to 10 of this book. Who was this Ezra? He was a scribe, which meant one who wrote down the copies of the holy scrolls and who was a teacher of the commandments of God to the Jewish people. A few years after the completion of the reconstruction work of the temple, Ezra came to Jerusalem and as the leader of the second batch of people from Babylon, bringing with him about 2,000 Jews. What was the expectation of Ezra when he landed in Jerusalem? He had a great expectation that the first batch of Jews who had returned from Babylon would be living as a very holy people because of the sufferings they had undergone in Babylon for the previous 70 years. But what had actually happened, most of those people had married Gentile women and had started worshipping the idols. So what did Ezra do? Ezra 9:3 and 4. He was so pained that he rent his garments and plucked off the hair on his head and beard as a sign of extreme grief. He then fell on his knees, spread out his hands, and made the famous sinner's prayer in the Bible for the forgiveness of the Jews. Ezra 9:5-15. What was the result of this prayer of penitence by Ezra? A big congregation of the Jews who were involved in this sin wept loudly and repented and agreed to put away all their strange wives and the children born to them. After the people swore like that only did Ezra get up from the ground. So Ezra was a great leader who could correct thousands of Jews not by any threatenings or violent means but by prayer. Therefore, the Jews rate Ezra also as one of their great leaders like Moses, Samuel, Elijah and Elisha, and they revere him. God willing, we shall study the first part of the book of Nehemiah in our next lesson. God bless you all.